Today's video I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned from the CC Moore blog. It's using liquid glycerin. You've heard of putting salt in particles to make them PVA friendly. Well, you can also do the same with liquid glycerin. All you're going to do is put your particles into a container and then put some liquid glycerin over it, mix it together, and in probably about 5 minutes you now have a PVA friendly mix. So what we're going to show today, a couple of my favorites. We're using the Hi Viz Tigers, the Tutti Frutti, just finishing up my bottle here. I'm going to use a crusher and some glycerin in a PVA bag to show you that technique. And also, just to show you, I'm just showing hemp and particles and talon, two of my favorites. I'm just going to do the particles and talon today, but I'll show you that also in a PVA bag. What's nice about this also is just like the Hi Viz Tigers, there's a lot of extra juice in the container. You can mix that in, put it into a bag itself and not the mesh, and then all that flavor is just going to explode in the water as the PVA melts and attracting the fish right to your hook bait. So let's get started. I'm going to do a first person view so you can look down and see how everything's working. Okay, let's do this. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my Tutti Frutti Hi Viz Tiger Nuts, and I have a small quarter crusher right here. I'm just going to put some in. I'm going to spoon them out because I don't want a lot of liquid when I'm crushing these. You really smell how great these are. All the Hi Viz Tiger Nut range has really been working well for me. Okay, just want to do a little bit. The crusher. And do all different sizes. Yeah, that one I just turned twice. This next batch will be a little bit smaller. That way you have all different shapes and sizes in the mix. Okay, do that. Yes, this is my first official bait video for my new bait area, so I'm excited about this. Lots of videos coming up. Hope you enjoy them all. Okay, get all those out. You can see that's nice and clean. Okay, what we're left with here, you can see that. Got all the tigers on the bottom. All I'm going to do next, just get the liquid glycerin. And we're just going to put, basically you just want to make sure it's covered. This is going to be a little bit thicker. Enough to coat everything. And then just take the spoon, just mix this all around. And the other thing I like to do also, I have a lot of extra liquid left in here. So what we're going to do, just put a little liquid in. That tutti flavor is awesome. So mix that all up. I need just a little more glycerin. I can tell it's a little bit too much liquid. Glycerin is also a great product for making glugs, and holds all the attraction together. So I mix that up really good, make sure anything that contained water is mixed thoroughly. Okay. But I wish you could smell how good this is. Okay, you can see that right there. This is going to be enough for a bunch of bags actually. So we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes and then come back. And that way we can ensure that the glycerin is fully coating everything. And then we'll do the PVA. 5 minutes went by. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a bag. I just threw a lead in it just so it'll sink to the bottom. But I just want to show how PVA friendly this is. And we're going to fill up a bag here. Just going to fill that up. Then we're going to put it in the tank. That way you can see how break time is and everything. One thing I like to do, you can see all that tutti frutti flavor evenly dispersed in the glycerin. I like to put the liquid in there. That way when that bag breaks, you're going to have that liquid all over the place. It's going to attract the fish in. Just a little tricky in the container that I have. So, okay. So right now you can see that's not melting thanks to the glycerin. I'm going to put this into the tank so you can see. I'm going to get this ready and tie this one up, and then I'm going to do the mesh real quick also. So we'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm going to put the bag in. You can see it's still not, nothing happened to it. So let's put that in. See what happens. Get away from the edge there so you can see it. As you can see, the glycerin is making this take longer to break down. Take a few photos. See all the flavors dispersing all over the place? That's the one awesome thing about that glycerin. And the bag, I had the water warmer so it broke down just a little bit quicker, but you can see that's a deadly tactic right there. Okay, I'm going to take the camera off just so you can kind of see a little better. Okay, let me zoom out here. Okay, just from that sitting there a minute, see how the flavor just spread all over the place? You can see the clear bottom, and then you can see how over here is the end of that one, and over here is the end of the flavor trail so far. Now if you had like a little current, which all lakes do, or syndicates or ponds or however you're fishing it, that's going to keep spreading and spreading through the water column. Now when you look down at it, you can see it's still spreading around. You can see the color change. So that's what I like to do with the PVA bag. Now I'm going to show you the mesh. The mesh won't spread the flavor as much just because the bag itself, I added a little bit of that juice out of the Hi Viz Tiger nuts, but you can see just how much that spreads. You have a nice presentation. And I just put a lead weight into it just so it'd sink faster. But usually I'll just rig it, like you normally would a PVA bag. Okay, let's get back to the other one here. Okay, for this one I'm just going to do the funnel web system PVA mesh. So we're just going to make a real tiny bag. This one here, we're basically just trying to get the tiger nuts themselves because obviously the juice is just going to come right out of the mesh. So we'll do that. You can kind of drain on the side, just kind of hold it there. Let that glycerin and flavor fall to the bottom, so you just basically just have some tiger nuts. And again, since this is PVA friendly now, this opens you up to a variety of different choices. I'm just going to make a real small bag and do it that way. Get my plunger. Okay. Okay, so right now, got a nice little tight bag there. As you can see, it's not melting, thanks to the glycerin, CC Moore Glycerine. And I'm just going to cut this and do it this way. I'm just going to cut down the center and then just tie it tight. Kind of twist that around. Loop it around, that way you can pull down tight on it. Get a real tight bag. And you don't have to worry about this breaking down in your hands because you used the glycerin. Yeah, it's going to be good for as long as you want. It won't start to break down until you hit the water. Okay, you got a tight little bag here. I'm going to go get my hook link here. Okay, for this presentation I'm just using a simple hair rig. I got a 2D Tiger, Hi Viz Tiger on there. And all I'm going to do is just hook it on the top here so it goes into the mesh. So when you go cast out, that's what you got going on there. Okay, so let me drop this in the tank and we'll check this one out. Let me reposition my camera. Okay, I wanted to take a few photos. As you can see, this is 5 minutes later. Our rig is still not breaking down, or PVA I should say. And we're going to put it into the tank. If you look over at the tank, that's about 10 minutes. The half of the tank at the bottom, the flavor is just continuously leaking wherever it can go to. So like I said, if there's a current, that's going to draw fish in from all over the place. So let's go ahead and drop this in. Get my camera set up here and I'll take a few photos. Okay, let's drop it in. Let me zoom here. And it'll just take a little bit before that starts to break. Okay, that's cool. I do have the water a little bit warmer, like I said, just because I didn't want to take it all day for it to break. So we're already broken down. We'll just watch that for a little bit longer and then I'll show you close in what it looks like. Okay, let me get the camera off here. And we can look down at it. On the left is the one from before. You can see how the flavor went everywhere. And here's the new bag. You can see that's completely broken down now. And our hook bait is right in the middle of that. I'll pull it back. Right there. So you can't tell the difference from any of those. And also you can do whole tigers in there if you want, if you don't want to do chops. But again, another great technique that you can do just by adding the CC Moore Glycerine to your mixes. So let's go do the particles and tailor now and I'll show you how that works out.